Hello and welcome to today's Mindful Monday. So as some of you are coming on, I'm going to say if you're watching this live, happy Labor Day here in the US. And if you're watching replay, we're still happy to have you. Love to hear where you're watching us from. So even if it's replay you're watching, put in your comments where you're coming from. We'd like to say hi. And of course, if you do have any topics that you'd like to hear us cover, we'd love to hear what they are too. You can either DM me, hey Raymond, you can DM any comments or any topics that you would like to hear about, or you can put them in the comments as well. We always have our stay to the end bonus, so if you're not subscribed, we tell you how to subscribe so you get a free recording on releasing limiting beliefs, as well as our weekly Mindful Mondays cheat sheet, which comes out every Sunday. So next Sunday you'll get the one today. I had a couple of questions on where's my cheat sheet, so that's what happens with that. So today we're here, and we do love if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where all the Mindful Mondays live, so you don't have to keep scrolling through Facebook, and it helps us out too if you subscribe. So the link will be in the top of this once it's on replay, I believe. So today we're here to talk about how to reduce feelings of discomfort quickly and easily. So I say discomfort because when we talk about pain, it can be physical or emotional, of course. And while hypnosis can be useful for these things, hypnosis is never meant to be a substitute for a doctor or physician in any way. So we work with them. In fact, if you want to do hypnosis for pain or anxiety, anything that has a diagnosis, we require a medical referral. So these are just some tips and techniques. We're not really going into hypnotherapy here today, but they are useful, and they can be used in conjunction with a doctor as well. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is going to be for more of an emotional kind of discomfort state. So say you were feeling some, let's say, anxiety or anxious feelings, if we didn't want to have a diagnosis with it. So we would call this a metaphoric shift. So I would ask someone to kind of drop down inside and kind of come up with a metaphor. Notice where they're feeling this. Say it's anxious feelings. So I'll give you an example. When I was doing this myself, I used to have this really horrible feeling of anxiety, and it was like a black hole kind of in my stomach. So that's a metaphor, a black hole, it feels like. So when we say like, it's like a metaphor. So then I would ask you, well, what would feel better than the metaphor you come up with? So if I'm thinking, well, this feels like there's a black hole in my stomach or my solar plexus area, well, something that would feel nice would be to have like a bright shining sunshine there. So then I would just kind of imagine filling that black hole with a nice bright sunshine there. And so then I would kind of notice and score out how I feel. So that's what's called a metaphor shift. So that's something that's quick and easy, and you can, play around with that on your own. And then the second thing that we use, this is more of an NLP technique as well. This is called spinning. So when we have a feeling, say it's that anxious feeling again, it tends to live, like I said, somewhere in the body. And so that's called the felt sense. So we want to find that felt sense, of course. And so the problem with anxious feelings or anxiety is it tends to kind of get stuck in the body. But if you drop down inside and you notice there's a direction that anxiety moves, it's not just sitting still. So usually we call it a spin. So usually it's moving kind of counterclockwise or clockwise. So you want to kind of drop down and see which direction it's kind of moving in. So it's not there anymore because I worked through this, but if I remember, it was kind of spinning counterclockwise for me, I think. Yeah. And so then I would take that spin and I would imagine, and I usually close my eyes to do this, I'd imagine pulling that spin outside of me, almost like I'm watching the spin outside of me, outside of my body. And then if it was going counterclockwise, I would change it so it's spinning clockwise now, or just opposite of whatever it is. And then I would slowly bring that back in to the felt sense area and just kind of notice the shift there. So it's interesting how these things work. Our mind is a computer processor there, and it's very interesting. So that's another quick and easy one that I have. So the next one has more to do with physical discomfort. So again, this is not meant if you have some kind of new pain, please go see a doctor. If you're having something that's chronic and the doctor is telling you, you can take Advil for that. I have like some pain in some of my joints, and I did have to go see a doctor. I had a total hip replacement, but this is not that. So, you know, I've seen the doctor, I have some achy joints kind of thing. So something like that, you might utilize this for. So the first thing that I would do, and I'm going to call this spreading comfort, is actually let's do dilution first. So we'll do dilution using color. So I'm going to scale my pain from 1 to 10. 10 is going to be the worst pain, and 1 is it's not bad at all. And then you can close your eyes for this if you want, although this is not going to be a long process either. And then you're going to pick the color that represents this pain for you. And if there's not a color that comes to mind, just assign it one. Our minds will do this automatically. So for instance, if I were to say red is the color that represents my pain for me, then I would ask you what color represents comfort or healing. So let's say green. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine diluting that pain color. So if I chose red, I'm going to imagine white coming down through my body, through this, so this red is through my body, and I'm imagining white diluting that color like paint. So it's fading and fading into lighter and lighter shades of red until it gets to be a really light rosy pink, and then all of a sudden it's totally white. And then I'm going to take that white, and I'm going to notice where the discomfort is fading and fading away here as it becomes white. And now I'm going to imagine my healing color. So for me it was green. I'm going to imagine green coming up, filling me up from head to toe with that healing green. And just, you know, this can be a longer, it takes, you know, a couple of minutes when we do this. But you can do it at home on your own too. And then you're going to score your comfort level from 1 to 10. So 10 is going to be, I feel the most comfortable. So that is dilution using color. So the next one is also usually more for physical, I would say. And I'm going to call this spreading comfort. So again, I'm going to choose my pain scale from 1 to 10. 10 is again the worst, and I'm going to notice where it is. So let's pretend it's my right shoulder. And now I'm going to notice an area of my body, or you can notice an area of your body, where there's either a feeling of comfort and ease, or it's just neutral and you didn't even notice. So say behind my left knee. I'm not really paying too much attention to behind my left knee, but I can assure you there's no discomfort there whatsoever. So when I bring my attention to the area behind my left knee, remember, we get what we focus on. That's one of the laws of the mind. So if we're searching for pain, we're going to find it. So I'm going to take my attention to that area behind my left knee where, you know, there's either neutral, you know, or comfort, I'd say, because it's, yeah, it's kind of a nice little feeling. And then I'm going to spread that feeling that I have. Hey again, Raven. I'm going to spread that feeling of neutrality or comfort, shall we say, from the back of my left knee all the way down to my toes, feeling that feeling from behind my left knee down into my lower legs. And I'm going to bring it slowly up into my upper legs, spreading that feeling from behind my left knee. I'm going to bring it up into my torso. I'm going to take the feeling from the space behind my left knee, and I'm going to bring it over to my left shoulder and then over to my right shoulder, really spreading it up into my right shoulder because that was the area we were working on. I'm going to bring it all the way up to the top of my head. Then I'm going to imagine that feeling that was behind my left knee filling my whole body, going from my head all the way down to my toes, just filling me with that comfort. And then I'll check in, I'll come back, open our eyes, whatever, and I'll rate my comfort here now. So that is what I call spreading comfort. So our final process for today is a process. So if you are driving a car, watching children, operating heavy machinery, you might not want to close your eyes and do the little process with me. You might want to come back and watch this later. Okay? This is going to be a script by my good friend Karen Han. We've done a lot of fun workshops together, and this is called the control room of the mind. Okay? So to begin, you can just, if it's safe for you, that is, you can just allow your eyes to close down. Begin taking a few of those nice, deep, relaxing breaths. And as you continue to relax and go deeper, you'll find yourself walking along a curved hallway. And as you follow along that hallway, all the way around a curve, you notice way down the hallway, there's a door, and it's marked Master Control Room. And it seems to just call you or invite you inside. So you're going to open that very, very heavy door and look inside. And as your eyes adjust to the dimmer light inside, you'll notice that there's 5 steps leading down into a room. And you notice this room is filled with racks and racks along the walls of dials and levers and gauges. And these dials and levers and gauges, maybe there's even buttons, they seem to go on forever. But as you look more closely, you can begin to make out clear labels on each and every individual rack. And it's curious and maybe even a little bit funny that there are racks marked blood pressure, and there's racks marked body temperature, and there's even racks marked metabolism, and there's racks for the arms and the legs. And they're even divided into left side, right side, and so many racks and dials and wheels and switches. And as you look around in amazement, your eyes find that spot in the middle of the room where there's a desk with a giant book on it. Yes, an old-fashioned book. And there's soft lighting shining down on that magical book, and you can just make out the title on its dusty old cover. And you can tell it's bound in the finest of leathers with brilliantly gold-edged pages. And it's curious that it's obviously not been used in quite some time, or even opened really in a very long time, but it's there. And so curiosity engages you to go inside now and gently step down those 5 stairs. And so 5, moving down, and 4, moving on inside the room, 3, letting go of the heavy door, and 2, finding your eyes adjusting to the light now. And on 1, you're inside, and now you can clearly see that book, that it's embossed with the title, Owner's Manual. And you see your name clearly spelled out underneath that. Now maybe this is the first time you realize that you are in the master control room of your mind and your body. And you open the cover and you notice the dedication page, and it's dedicated to you. It's a book all about you. And as you begin to turn the pages slowly, you notice pictures of you throughout your life. There's the first day of life for you, a perfect little baby born into an earthly adventure. There's some pictures of you along the way, each a representation of perfect health for you. And you notice there are diagrams with each picture, each stage of life with proper settings for all the levers, the dials, the gauges, throughout the entire control room. That's right. And so with wonder, you begin to turn the pages and realize you can find the proper setting for everything here in this manual. And as you continue to flip through the pages, you realize just how much control you now have for the proper settings of your entire body and the operating system. And you quickly now find your way to the page that has everything to do with your reason for finding yourself here today. That's right. And so here you can set any of those dials or levers, switches. You can turn them off, you can turn them up or down, adjust them just right. That's right. And they can be turned on or off as necessary. And if something is difficult, there can always be a handy control room engineer who has the strength or the tool or the expertise needed for the change that needs to be made here in this magical place. So taking a moment and changing anything you wish to change while you are here. That's it. Good. And now that the equipment is tuned up and changed to a good working order, you notice that there is a lovely full-length mirror over in the far corner of this control room. So go on over there and look at this newly refurbished you. And your image is calling you closer, and it has a secret just for you. Your perfect image is reaching up to connect with you, holding out hands to touch and arms to hold. So reach up and touch the fingers of that perfect image of you. Feel the fingers touching, the palms coming together. grasping hold of that perfect you, coming together in all of the unconditional love, all the unconditional love that comes here, and the motivation to move into this place when it's coming from the source, this infinite love and wisdom that comes pouring into you. So just take a moment to connect and to feel that. Feel it moving through your hands and into your arms, into your shoulders, in a unidirectional flow up to the top of your head and all the way down to the tips of your toes. And as you fill up with the wonder of you and move closer to your perfect reflection, receiving that unconditional love and motivation to move into health and comfort, and you are aware that you and your reflection have now merged together to become one. And as you step out of the mirror, now into your new empowered life of health and vitality, you look again at that owner's manual with your name on it, and you smile as you realize now that you did in fact come with an owner's manual. And it's been there and waiting for you to open it your entire life. And now that you know the secret, you can consult your manual whenever you want to or need to, understanding that proper maintenance is needed to keep your control room running at optimum efficiency. So allow yourself to come back often so that you can make these safe and moderate adjustments as necessary. And now as the dials, gauges, and levers have been changed, at the other than conscious level, you can begin to bring your awareness to the sensations in your body where you can already feel the corrections taking hold, finding a balance and moving from the unconscious to the conscious level of comfort and relief. And that's right. Good, good, good. And then very slowly, whenever you are ready, coming back, slowly allowing the eyes to open, maybe having a nice little stretch. And that is Karen Hand's control room of the mind. All right, so thank you for watching this Mindful Monday, and we'll see you really soon, and take care. Remember to comment mindful below if you'd like to receive our cheat sheets. Have a good one.